I'm going to talk to you about items to put on your fall home maintenance checklist. So these are items you want to go ahead and do to make your home cozy and ready for the winter. First one is to check your gutters. A lot of times when it's raining, debris and leaves will fall into your gutters, and those need to be cleaned out. When you do that, make sure you're wearing heavy duty gloves, and then go ahead and just scoop out what you can. Afterwards, you're gonna go ahead and just have to clean it up off the ground, whatever you pick up. That's probably the best way to do it. If you're having to tackle 2-3 stories, just make sure you have a sturdy ladder when you do that, and even someone down below that's holding the ladder or just making sure the ladder is straight, and you're gonna be safe. And while you're on the roof, another thing that you can check out, item number 2, check the shingles on your roof. Check for any missing shingles from any storms that may have occurred, any warped shingles, things like that. And what that's gonna do is prevent any leaks when winter comes, and you can go ahead and tackle it while you got your ladder out. You can drive down to Lowe's or Home Depot, you replace a shingle or 2. Another thing you can do, your downspouts on your home, check those for patency as well. You're just gonna wanna make sure those are open. You can go to the bottom, pull out any debris, any pine needles or leaves, make sure they're open from the top as well, so that when it rains or snows, they're gonna be open, you won't have an issue. This is gonna be checking your windows and doors. You wanna kind of feel for any drafts. Last night it got down into the 40s for us here. So you could go around at nighttime or early morning and just kind of feel like this for drafts. A lot of times if there is a draft, it's gonna be an issue with the gasket here. So this is the gasket. It's kind of like a foam with like a protective plastic or vinyl on the outside here. And this is just held on by adhesive. So you can go ahead and, take this off and remove it if there's pieces missing. A lot of times around the actual where the bolt goes in here, this could be damaged or missing for whatever reason. So you can go ahead to, a Home Depot or a store like that, get this replaced. And again, this is gonna be around the hole. So that's very important to check windows as well for drafts. A lot of times you may be feeling around the top here of the window and you may feel a draft here. And the reasoning for that could simply be that just where you lock it here, where you lock it on the window, one side is up a little further than the other. You need to go ahead and press that down. And then you can just check the seams on the windows, make sure there's no large gap. Outside outlets as well. Sometimes on these outlets, you're gonna have a gap for whatever reason on the outside here. So you can just do some spray foam, graded for outdoors, and you can go ahead and fill that in. Sometimes on indoor outlets, this happens a lot actually. You'll put your hand, you can kind of feel around, and you'll feel a draft from the outlet itself. One thing you can do, you take the plate cover off here. You can go to a home improvement store. They have foam pads actually. And what you would do is you would cut the foam pad to where you would cut out a little hole here for the plugs, and a hole for the screw hole as well. And you take this plate off, put the pad underneath the screw plate here, and then put it back on. And that would create a padding between the plate and the foam, so at least you wouldn't be getting drafts from your plug. If you find this video helpful, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe. That really helps. If you're having issues, if you have a ton of windows in your house and you're having issues with cold air that you can feel radiating from the windows itself, you can go ahead and put window coverings over the windows as well. That'll keep some of the cold air out during the winter. All right, next up is the fireplace. Before you use the fireplace, it's always a good idea. Of course, you're gonna wanna make sure there's not a lot of ash in the bottom. You'll clear that out. I like to take a flashlight and then with the flue open, just go into the fireplace, kind of look up with the flashlight, and then just make sure there's nothing blocking the opening. And just whenever you light your fireplace, it's always a good idea to start kind of slow with the fire, just FYI. If you roar it up really fast, it's gonna be so cold and there's gonna be a draft that the smoke's just gonna blow into the house. So always good to start with a small fire, get the chimney warmed up, and then basically once you've got the air in the chimney heated, go ahead and add some more wood, rev it up, and you won't have all the smoke back blow into the house. Another thing you wanna do is check your heating system before fall comes in. So what you can do Of course, just put it on heat. You set it to a temperature that it's going to kick on. It says current temp 70. So it says heat on, it's using auxiliary heat. The heating just kicked on, you may be able to hear it. It's normal to get a smell at first when you first turn the heater on, because you're gonna have dust being burnt after the heater's been sitting kind of on the heating elements and getting burned up, things like that, but it should go away. And when you get down to your furnace, the main thing you're gonna wanna do is you make sure it's off, and you wanna go ahead and check the air filter to the furnace. If you need to remove it, change it if it's a disposable one, or if it's one that you need to clean with the air compressor or hose, go ahead and do that, because that's going to be the most important thing to do. Another thing to make sure, well, this may be the most important thing to do, make sure there's no combustible items near the furnace blocking it. A lot of times people in the furnace area, furnace room, they put a lot of storage. Make sure there's enough airflow, things like that. You also want to make sure there's a carbon monoxide smoke detector. A lot of times they're just combo devices now, but make sure there's one on the same floor at least as the heating unit. All right, and since we're talking about smoke detectors, we've got one here. You want to go ahead and remove the batteries at least once a year. Go ahead and press the test button as well while you're doing this, make sure they work, and then basically make sure that you're changing the batteries yearly, and you want to change out the fire detectors. I believe it's once every at least 10 years. All right, guys, another tip that you want to do is winterize and get basically your lawnmower, weed eater, whatever you use, ready for the winter. I know here a lot of times we'll be mowing up until end of October. A lot of times I just like to mow over the leaves, kind of use that to protect the grass. But with your mower, what you can do, kind of take it out on your driveway, and you want to make sure you can run it until there's no more fuel left in the mower. That's kind of the main thing. Some people will say you're not supposed to do that. Others will say that you're supposed to just, if you just put a fuel stabilizer in there, you should be good to go. You'll probably be good to go, but the old fuel, sometimes it could cause issues with gunking up the carburetor and cause other issues. So go ahead and empty the fuel, or just run it until your mower won't start, basically, and then you'll be good to go in that aspect. If you are draining the fuel, one more thing you can do is drain any fuel out of the carburetor as well. That can cause issues coming spring when you go ahead and start back up. I know a lot of times in the past I have not done this. I'd start it up, I'd get some issues with my mower, I'd be sitting down in my driveway, taking apart the carburetor with some WD-40 and a spray can of air for at least 30-40 minutes, and then it'd be fine after that. Before you put your mower up, you can also change the oil. Just get some new oil, go ahead and put that in the mower. After you go ahead and run the gas out, that's one thing you can do to make sure it's ready for the spring. You can go ahead and clean out the bay underneath the mower. You probably have grass along the edges. You can also use this time an opportunity to sharpen the blades. That's always a good idea to get ready for spring, basically. So when spring comes up, you just need to add fuel and you'll be good to go. If you have a mower cover as well, why not throw it on there? Since we're on the topic of the lawnmower, we can go ahead and talk about the lawn too. That's the next item you can work on for maintenance. Just make sure the grass is cut. You're gonna want to head and, if you need to rake leaves, pick up brush. A lot of times it's a good time to prune back trees or anything that you want to prune back. It's also a good time to seed your lawn if you want to go ahead and do that. Seed with new grass, or just to fill in with grass. Also aerating, it's a good time to aerate your lawn as well, and fertilize. One other thing that people may not think of is to fill in any chips or large cracks, things like that, in your sidewalk or driveway. These are areas that could cause, if ice collects in them and builds up, you could slip on them and hurt yourself. Next item is we're talking about winterizing any outdoor furniture. If you have like a patio, a porch, you don't want snow to collect, or a lot of leaves and brush to collect on these type of things. So just put these up for the winter. These outdoor cushions, just go ahead and put them up. Find a place inside your home or shed or something where you can put them up for the winter. It's really good, a good idea if you have a cover You can pick it up from a Lowe's or Home Depot or something and just put it over your furniture. That also helps protect the wicker and things like that. You just pull them off when springtime comes. Hey guys, I do hope that you found this video helpful. It's by no means a comprehensive list, but just some items that I thought were useful for the fall maintenance checklist that you could use. Go ahead and comment below if you think of other ideas and things that you usually do in the fall to prepare your home or apartment for fall or winter. And go ahead and check out this next video. Thanks guys.